Just throw that in the glove box.
This car is not from the motor pool.
No, it's not. Sexy though, isn't it?
So where's the office, back at Division?
You in the office, baby. Going up. Today's a training day, Officer Hoyt. Show you around, give you a taste of the business, you know?
Keep it going. Some privilege in the back, blowing. Hold it down for the Bay, reppin' Oakland. If it wasn't for that granddaddy smoking, that's what I mean for sure. Know what I mean for sheets. Got what I mean for sure. Know what I mean for sheets. Got what I mean for sure. Know what I mean for sheets. Got what I mean for sure. Know what I mean for sheets. I don't put that on, that's my word. I don't put that on, that's my word. I don't think they know, that's my word. I don't put that on, that's my word. Oh, do a little shitty, but have I lost you, you still with me? Baziking, kicking and sneaking, all in the dog, the nappy frog still freaking. On leapers, beneath us, senoritas, turn it to a list, the one they still unfeatured.
Yes, Marshawn Lynch, NFL MVP of Week 3. What a stud. Had the entire stadium dancing. I wish I lived in Oakland. Oakland's my new favorite team. Marshawn Lynch is my favorite player. I'm done. I wish I drafted him. I don't even care if he was good or not anymore. I would start him every week because the morale that he brings the people around him. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to bring on the owner of Marshawn Lynch, Reilly Smith. I view Reilly as the mantle of the Earth's crust. He's just deep enough in the league where he's 1-1. He's been a competitor in our league for a long time, and he has brought it to the table, I would say, every year. We've talked about that on the shows before. Reilly, you there?
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Bardis, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Excited to have you on the show.
It's great to finally be on here. It's tough to find, the time here in Vegas to get on this show, but service isn't great, but I'm making it work right now. I got kicked out of the training room, and apparently I'm not allowed to talk fantasy football in there. So I'm out in the parking lot in my car.
Well, you know what? Good. Screw them, because that's secondary. I'm actually relatively surprised that. How long have you been in Las Vegas now?
It's probably been about 6 weeks.
6 weeks. I have no idea how you're not dead. It makes zero sense to me. I've made bets with guys. You're still alive. It's weird. But I love your roster. Ray, will you pull up Reilly's roster here? So, Reilly, awesome pickups during the draft here. I really do like your roster. Again, I'm going to go back to Marshawn Lynch, and what a pickup. Guys let him slide pretty deep in the draft with us. You got Michael Thomas, Demaryius Thomas, Kyle Rudolph, Martavis Bryant, who had a great week, Chiefs D, and who cares about your kicker? I also like some of the guys on your bench. No one really likes Sammy Watkins based off of LA's offense, but I think he's a total sleeper, even though he's a well-known name. I think he has potential to have some really big games, and Austin Hooper already has had a big game, and I do think there's going to be some games where he absolutely crushes it like he did last week. How you feeling right now?
I don't know. I think you like those guys so much that you could take them off my hands. I think they're a bunch of bums except for Marshawn. He's there keeping the team morale up, but the rest of the guys, I don't know. I personally think I had a poor draft. Drafting two Thomases, that's never a good idea.
Yeah, the two Thomas rule.
Porter was always stealing guys right before I was able to get my hands on them. So, the only person other than Marshawn that I was happy to get in the draft was Martavis. Obviously, a slow week one, but that offense was pitiful. So, I think he's going to have a good season. I think he's going to be a sleeper. I agree with you on Sammy Watkins. No one likes him, but they got to throw the ball to someone. So sooner or later he's gonna have to earn some targets, and when he does, he's got big play opportunity, and he might be able to step in for me on one of those bye weeks.
Yeah, and another guy on your roster that I'm actually surprised he hasn't done a little more up to this point, and I know we're only 2 games into the season, is LaShawn McCoy. How do you feel about his performance up to this point?
He didn't have a bad week 1. Obviously a little upset with his performance last week, but he's going to get his touches. I'm not worried about him. He'll get his touches. He'll put up his points. So, being able to select him at 8, I wasn't too upset with. I think my eyes were set at Jordy Nelson, but one of these sleazebacks, I guess, got him too early. So hopefully he's injured. He's out for the rest of the year. That's how I feel about that.
Fair enough. Well, we are going to be keeping a close eye on your team throughout the season. I do think your roster has a potential to be one of those sleeper teams. There's not a lot of big-name guys on there, but I do think they may put up some points, unlike my roster. Next, we're going to bring on another guy that's 1-1 in our league, has been competitive again. Like I said, I would put him in the same category as Reilly. Patty Johnson. Patty, can you hear us?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Patty, we're going to go ahead and pull up your roster here, and we're going to go ahead and kind of run through it, and I want you to give us your opinion on how you're feeling up to this point and where you think you need to go, if you feel like you need to go anywhere. I played you in week 1, and your team, my team just consistently has shit the bed. But that's because we are trying to get to be number 1 on the waiver wire. Ray, can you pull up Patty's roster there? So you have Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Howard, Gore, AJ Green, who's a dud, Keenan Allen, who's unreal. I'm excited about him this season. I also think Ted Ginn has a chance with New Orleans to if Breeze could figure out how to throw the football. And Zach Ertz, he's a relatively a sleeper there. And the Texans, and who cares about your kicker? I think
it's going to be my MVP this year is my kicker. But
yeah, and you got 2 really high caliber quarterbacks on your team. You got Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's useless.
Well, I don't know. Last season, yeah, you're right. Cam shit the bed, but he has potential to have huge games. Not that he did last season, but we saw it 2 seasons ago, and I believe Ben Porter had him 2 seasons ago, and Cam won him a lot of games. Ray, can you keep his roster up? How you feeling right now about where you're at?
Week 1 went really well. Obviously, we weren't really just kind of like playing, high schoolers against the mini mites, so that wasn't too much of a great win. Week 2, Porter, did he win it? Was it last year or the year before? Was it 2 years?
Last year.
So, he's always got a pretty good team. I'm still coming off my high of my win probably 3-4 years ago. I think the partying's got to stop now. I think I got to stop auto drafting, although probably this year could have done pretty good for me. I'm just excited. I got the Aaron Rodgers Crosby connection, so I think Crosby behind Aaron Rodgers would be my MVP of the team so far.
I love it.
I think having Gore on my team has been really good. A lot, especially for the young guys. Just to chat with them and give him some of that experience that he's been in the league. He's probably 65 now, still running back, so that's pretty good in the league.
He's at least 65.
Usually a league minimum. So
how do you feel? How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers getting an absolute beatdown by the Falcons? I understand they came back a little bit. Green Bay came back a little bit, but if you watch the game, the Falcons ran all over them. I could feel the tension from the stadium at my house, and I live 25 miles away. So how do you feel about Aaron Rodgers just completely getting owned by Atlanta again?
Yeah, to be honest, Tom, I felt the tension from my house. I live, I don't know how many miles away.
Yeah.
But, I think there's one word to describe the whole thing. I think Aaron Rodgers says it best is, relax. Everything's going to be okay. It's Aaron Rodgers. The guy the guy got rid of his girlfriend, so if he goes to Vegas, God, he's probably going to go undefeated the rest of the year.
It's about time he got rid of that
Let's hope
slut.
she does go to Vegas.
Yeah, he needed to get rid of her. I feel like Aaron Rodgers plays better when he's got an ankle injury. You know what I mean? It's like he thinks less and he just starts playing.
And I'd like to compare it to, let's say, Tiger Woods when he was banging strippers and doing all that stuff. He was unbelievable. Then all of a sudden he stops, gets a girlfriend, and he sucks.
Yeah, that's really good point.
So I think Rodgers is still getting over his girlfriend issue. He's kind of going to get back on track week 3 here, and hopefully all things are good after that.
Well, I like it. I like that he fixed it and he got rid of it. We're going to move on to This Week in Fantasy Football. A lot of guys who were ranked high, running backs, wide receivers, not the guys that you saw on the top of the points list for fantasy football. We had guys like Chris Thompson, C.J. Anderson have killer weeks. Then we had guys like Ezekiel Elliott, complete duds. How are you guys feeling right now about where the NFL is going when it comes to your predictions for your teams and the guys that you're playing? And how are you assessing your team and who you're going to play? We'll start with you, Reilly, because it doesn't matter about the big name. The name means nothing at this point in the season. There's guys out there that if a guy's getting looked at 10 times, like a Higgins for Cleveland, I'm going to pick him up off waiver wires, which I didn't. I missed him. But I'm just excited about some of these other guys. It seems like there's a lot of sleepers going on in this league this season. How do you feel about that, Reilly? And your team, being one that doesn't have a lot of big names on it, has some guys that are scoring points.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's a lot of big names that are being absolute studs. There's the obvious ones like, Zeke, just not even caring out there.
Do we know who has Ezekiel Elliott in the league, by the way? Who has it? Oh, it's Ben Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That must have hurt last week.
I'm not huge on that. I was looking at some clips yesterday. His body from college to now, he's starting to look a little bit like Fat Eddie. So
yeah, he's got a little
reason to be concerned.
He's got a little Eddie Lacy vibe going on, and I hope it continues in that direction for my team's sake. I know Street won his last game, but I also think that Ezekiel's not what everyone's going to think he is, because I think he's got so many things on his mind that he's not going to be able to perform at the level that everyone's expecting him to. So imagine that. You have a pending suspension. Everyone thinks you're hitting your girlfriend, and then you got to go play good football. It's not going to work.
No, exactly. It is not going to work. So I think right now, it's too early to bank on the big names. You're going to have to go with the hot hand. And just looking at my team, I think Martavis is going to have another big week. I think Pittsburgh's playing Chicago. And, I think Ben's going to, throw some long plays. And I don't think there's anyone in the league that can really stop Martavis right now. He's got that long stride, and he can go up when he wants to catch and come down with it. There's no one stopping him. So I'm expecting a big week from him. It'd be nice to see McCoy get back into it. Hopefully this little injury he's got isn't going to slow him down too much. But, I think I picked up Mike Tolbert just in case. He's a bit of a bum, but, if there is something serious with this groin injury, he should be able to fill some snaps.
Yeah, well, I have Le'Veon Bell, so I'm hoping Roethlisberger doesn't look Martavis' Bryant way once, because Le'Veon Bell owes me a lot of points. He's really been shit in the bed, and you have, Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Patty, how about you, man? How are you feeling about the guys that you're deciding to play that are big names, and then guys that may be on your bench that you're excited about maybe the momentum that they have?
Well, yeah. To be honest with you, the big names aren't, the Elliott's, the Rodgers, the only one who's really truly the big name, I would say it's proven a point, is Brady, and he's just Brady, so that's fantastic. But I think if you compare it to, say, like the 2010 team of Wisconsin, we're not looking at the McDonoughs, the Turrises, all that. We're looking at the Moyers, the Keegan Moyers, the Ryan Littles.
Yes.
Those guys are going to what makes it.
Yeah, the Ben Groddings.
Yes, yeah, I love it. The Ben Groddings.
So I'm just excited. I might trade. Rodgers is up for trade right now. Anybody who wants him, Gore, anybody, Crosby's up.
No one wants Gore.
I would say I'm probably going to get rid of my big names, and everybody's probably going to think I'm dumping them to Smitty, and it's because, but I'm not. It's I'm just trying to go for those Keegan Moyers, the Littles, the Johnsons. So that's my thought on the whole process. I mean, who's this Goff guy that is like the MVP of the quarterbacks this week?
Yeah, who is that guy? I agree with you.
Yeah, apparently got the first throw.
I don't even know the first team.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm doing the same. I think I've had every big name guy because they've been not playing well so far. I'm pretty sure Brendan Smith has been. I've gotten 1,000 trade offers from him for the shittiest guys on his team. I don't even think one guy he's offered me plays on his team. And I'm sure it's consistent throughout the league. I would imagine he's doing that to everyone. So cut the shit, Smitty. We're all sick and tired of having to click deny on the waiver wire or on the trade block. Give us some real trades, or I don't know. We're gonna start to get up on the message board on the ESPN platform, and I think the league is gonna have something to say about it. So we're gonna move on to a segment that we did last week called Struggle Bus. That is someone that or a team or someone's attitude, whatever it is that you think throughout this last week that you would put them and categorize them as struggle bus material. Patty Johnson, who would you pick this week? NFL, your team, doesn't matter. It can be anyone in the league that just did not bring it to the table in one way or another this week.
Tom, when you say the league, can it be in the NHL league too as well?
It can't. It can't. We don't talk hockey on this. This is all football.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk hockey. Since Kreider, I was a little embarrassed for him. I thought he was going to be on the show. And obviously he's a little scared of me now, but I would say he's probably the struggle bus. Other than that, if we're going to talk football, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers because he, I wouldn't say it was his fault, but he had no help with his offensive line by any means. Those two were pretty brutal for him, the new guys. I felt like I'm 5'9", 160, and I could have stopped half the guys that they were coming at him.
Yeah, but I've seen you take on some pretty big guys, Patty. I've seen it this summer. Did you get choked out? Yeah, you did. But you never gave up. And
no.
I love that, and I love the heart that you have, and I think it is very much.
Never tap out, and I felt like the Green Bay offense tapped out pretty early last week.
They did. So the Green Bay offense as a whole is on the struggle bus. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, fair enough. Riley?
I'm going to go with one player and one team. My player is going to be, I don't really like him, but Eli Manning is just not putting up a good effort. And it's just like, it seems like he looks like he wants to cry even more than usual after every throw he makes.
He's been that way for a while, though. He's kind of a big baby.
It's hurting the league. Yeah. And I think that's why viewers, down 15% week one, down 12% last week. And I think he's hurting the league. I think someone's got to get rid of him.
He's the new Jay Cutler of the league when he played for the Bears. I love Jay Cutler's attitude now when he plays for Miami. He doesn't give a shit. He was in retirement. He was on the couch. I mean, was he forced into it? Yeah. But now he doesn't give a shit. You don't see him moping around anymore. He's in Miami. I mean, yeah, they had a hurricane, but he doesn't care. He's got a babe wife, and he's on the beach.
Yeah.
And
he's going to live
that's
every
why
night.
That's why guys. That's why I think he just got picked up off on the waiver wire because guys like his attitude now. I hated Jay Cutler. Now I love him, and I don't know what it is, but he turned on me. And I love seeing him in Miami uniform and his attitude. He doesn't care, and he's playing well because of it. But
and I'll go with my team. I'm gonna have to go with Team Bardis right now. It's honestly, it makes me want to puke a little bit when I see the numbers that you're putting up. Not that I even like the players in your team or your management or your systems at all. I think it's just hurting the league. And I'm thinking we may even, what happens if you come in last this year? Do we have someone new that's headlining the show? I don't know. There's a lot of question marks right now.
So
I don't want to be the person that's filling in them, but, something's going to have to happen. Something's going to change.
I love constructive criticism, and I feel like that's what you're giving me right now, and I'll take it. Did I pick up some guys? I mean, Kerwin Williams did absolutely nothing this last week, and I'm already getting rid of him. But I picked up Jermaine Kearse this last week, being number 1 on the waiver wire. My team has been absolute duds. I completely agree. But I told Street I was going to lose 2 games. I didn't say I was going to lose 3. I said I was going to lose 2. This week I'm playing Culver, who has a good roster, but he's got Jordy Nelson and Greg Olson, who both are absolutely out this week. I don't care what anyone says about Jordy Nelson. I think he's not going to play. And if he does, he may have some snaps. He's not going to have his full count. And I don't think he's going to play well. I mean, the guy's hurt. And when Jordy Nelson's hurt, he's not Jordy Nelson. He relies on his speed and his quickness. And if he's feeling not confident about any of that, I mean, he's done. So I will also throw my team on the struggle bus. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm not excited about where my team's gone. But at the end of the season, when we're raising the trophy, I'm going to love that we've gone through that together and that we've had those hardships in our locker room because we're getting to know each other real well right now, and there's been some real awkward situations. Le'Veon Bell and T.Y. Hilton got into it last week in my locker room. Eddie Lacy, on his way out, we traded him. Just complete jerk. I mean, I'm glad I'm seeing kind of what guys are made of right now. And I want guys that are sat on old leather wallets. I want guys that are there, ready to put in the work, and they're going to last for a long time on my team. So struggle bus, my team, without a doubt. Do I think they're going to be on it next week? I don't. But I've said that for a couple weeks in a row about how my team is going to do something that they don't. I'm actually going to keep quiet this week, and I'm just going to let it ride. I'm excited to see where it goes, and we'll touch back on that in week 4. Yep, my team's had some hard times. So we were going to do a segment called Stud of the Week, which is someone that we'd pick, who's going to have a great game. But instead, I wanted to change it to Slug of the Week, and I want a pick from each of you, someone that's a big name that is going to absolutely shit the bed. Reilly?
Big name that's going to shit the bed.
Big name that's going to shit the bed.
I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks for the second straight week. I think for some reason Tom doesn't want to throw him the ball. He loves that running back giving him the ball. So
what is that all about?
Not giving him the ball that much.
I don't get it.
But I see another maybe 4, maybe 5 point week.
Wow, 4 or 5 point week for Brandon Cooks, and that would be Cody Gulubev has Brandon Cooks. Cody may as well sit him this week. I think Reilly has a solid prediction there. How about you, Patty?
I'm going Elliott. I think, for one, the guy hates old people, kids, and dogs, so that's a bad start. But I think the second week in a row, is he out this week?
Sorry, say that again?
Elliott, is he playing again this week, or is he out?
He's in. At the moment, he's in.
Okay. Well, I'm going with him because he's going to be terrible again. I think Streets picked him up way too early. And ever since he jumped into that big Salvation Army bucket, he's never been the same. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I agree with that. I would agree. I think Elliott is going to have I mean, if you look on the top for week 3 running backs, I think he's like number 3 right now. But those projections in the past couple of weeks have been complete rubbish. None of them have followed through. So I love that prediction. I'm going to go with someone on my roster, and it's T.Y. Hilton. He's going to be sitting on the bench again this week. I don't trust him with anyone but a great quarterback, which makes me ask a question, is he even a good wide receiver? Get open, I don't know. Understand you're going to get a knuckleball from your quarterback, but who cares? Find a way to get it. So I'm sick and tired of him, and he's going to sit on the bench. Plus, he's just he's an idiot in the locker room. Like I said, him and my star Le'Veon Bell got into it in the locker room, so he's going to sit for it. So we're going to move on to a brand new segment I'm really excited about. I actually, if I could have, would have talked about it the entire show. This segment is called Crock Pot Recipe of the Week. And I don't know if you can tell that my energy has even gotten higher because this is what it's all about. Football Sunday, a good crock pot recipe, and we got guys that have unbelievable dishes, recipes in their families, and I'm here to expose them.
I want people to know what's going on in these households on the beautiful Sundays where we all gather and watch football. Reilly, you are our guest for our crock pot recipe of the week. Tell us what it is that your family does for your recipe, and give us a little bit of the history.
Oh boy, you guys are going to be excited about this one. This one goes way back. I think it was my great-grandma. She created the crock pot bacon wrapped Little Smokies recipe.
Wow.
And you're going to like this one, boys. So I think it goes back, or maybe all the way back to the Depression. She may have the first crock pot. I'm not quite sure, but there definitely wasn't many around at that point. Cooking time will take you about 3 to 4 hours. So, if you're on the West Coast, you're going to have to get up real early. Those 10 o'clock games, they come at you pretty quick. If you're on the East Coast, you can sleep in a little bit longer. But, it's tough cooking out here. So what we're going to need for ingredients, we're going to need 16 ounces of Little Smoky sausage links, 12 ounces of bacon, and here's the big one, 1 3/4 cup of brown sugar. We don't want this light sugar. We want the brown sugar. We want the dark stuff.
Yep. Wow. Candy that bacon up.
Yeah. It's going to be a little heavy on you. You might feel it on Monday, but it'll be worth it.
Wow. And
Starts out.
Go ahead.
How you want to start this out is you want to try to cut the bacon probably into thirds, so you can get about a third to wrap each little sausage smoky, and then you want to layer them in your crock pot. You want to layer them nice, and at every layer, you want to put some brown sugar. Get it sweet in there.
Spread it nice. It nice.
Yeah.
Don't be light on the brown sugar, guys.
No. I got a little brown sugar. There's no problem with that.
Everyone likes brown sugar.
So after it's been cooking for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, you want to stir it up a little bit. Let some of the top layers, reach the bottom. Really get into those juices. Really get into that flavoring. The best thing about this recipe, one, it's a family heirloom pretty much. Like, it goes way back. Rory loves them. I'll tell you that guy. He'll put down 16 ounces himself.
Wow.
So we make a lot in our household. Usually, I think the recipe started for, I think it was the Grey Cup. Big CFL family, the Smiths are. We're always watching in September. So it's easy. It doesn't take an extremely long time, but it's a great tasting little meal for the boys.
Wow. And what do you guys call that, if you don't mind me asking? Do you have a special name for that? A family, kind of nickname for that recipe?
Or we just call them Grandma's Wrapped Little Smokies.
Grandma's Wrapped Little Smokies. You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
That's a family recipe that is now out of the bag, and you can cook it at your own house tonight. You can cook it this weekend. Get your significant others. I mean, they should be spending time in the kitchen, and you should get them to cook that up for you. I would actually print that out, maybe write it on a piece of paper, and just hand it to your significant other. You guys shouldn't be putting in the work for this. But that sounds great, Reilly, and I'm really excited about that. I'm going to cook it myself this week, and I'll make sure to have a little video posted on next week's show. We're all done here, so I appreciate having you guys on the show, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks a lot.
All right, see ya.